Satisfaction stifles, curiosity creates, consistency compounds. So about 6 months ago, I read a 6-word story from Ernest Hemingway. His story went something like this: for sale, baby shoes, never worn. See, both of those stories get you to think. Think into what the possibility can be. When I heard that 6-word story by Ernest Hemingway, I made a decision that I'm going to write my own 6-word story. Satisfaction stifles. When we are satisfied with where we are at, we stop looking for opportunities to grow. Curiosity creates. Only through being curious do we ask the questions that create opportunities for us. And finally, consistency compounds. The one thing I know from my 20 plus years of being a college coach is it is only through consistency did our results compound. Now, I decided to take this journey of my own self-discovery. And during this journey of self-discovery, of not being satisfied with where I was at, with asking questions and being consistent in doing that, in asking those questions, I've come up with what I call a model, an 8-prong approach to keeping myself on task to make the changes in my life. And for the next few minutes, I want to share with you this approach, in what I call the VOLTA approach to achieving, expanding into what your potential can be. It's based off of 8 simple ideas, 8 words. And each of these words, they actually come from my experience of being a coach. So they have a connotation, they have a vernacular that's related to sports. But what is so powerful about it is that they relate to every single day and everything I do in my life. I really believe here in my heart that sports is a language that everybody understands. And if that is the case, why not share this language, these vernaculars, to your growth? And I just ask you over the next 10 minutes that you write these down and think about how you can apply these to your life, to your journey of a better life, of a healthier life. So what are these 8 words? These 8 words are technical, tactical, awareness, psychological, academic, social, spiritual, and physical. I think I should share with you what led me to thinking into this whole idea of these 8 powerful words that we're going to talk about. As a coach, I was brought up with the idea that athletes are developed on 4 pillars: technical, tactical, physical, and psychological. But what I found over my years of being a coach is that if an athlete was deficient in one of those pillars, if they weren't quite reaching it, they struggled across all of them. Because we put them up on these pillars, we put them up on a pedestal. And it's only when they were really, really achieving on all 8 levels that they had success. And then, as I was sitting there one day, I saw a spider walk across the floor. And I looked at that spider. I said, you know what? If that spider was missing a leg, he would still do okay. Yeah, that spider was missing 2 legs. He'd probably still get along pretty good. And I said, you know what? There's more to being an athlete. There's more to my self-improvement. There's more to who I am than just these 4 pillars. There's really these 8 prongs. So let's start with number 1. Technical. Very simply put, technical is how you do things. If I'm going to sit there and address a better life with you guys, and I'm looking at how I do things, I am now writing down everything that I do and how I do it. It's important to understand how we do things. If we're going to cook, how are we going to cook? If we're going to run and jog and do exercise, how are we going to do that? Because when you understand the hows, you put a process in place. And we know through having a process, things can be achieved. In the world of sports, tactical means when, where, and why we do something. Okay? So when I'm coaching my athletes, it's when do we perform the task? Where do we perform that task? And why are we performing that task? Can you not see where you might be able to apply that tactical understanding to your habits? When are you eating? Why are you eating at that time? And maybe we could ask, what are you eating? When I started answering those questions about when, where, and what I was eating, all of a sudden things changed. I no longer felt hungry. I no longer felt bloated after a meal. And you want to know the funny thing is? I was probably eating just as much food as I was eating before, and I've already lost 15 pounds in 2.5 weeks. Because I focused on the tactical aspects of my eating. Number 3, awareness. It's important that we become aware of what's happening around us. What are the circumstances that are facing us? I ref college soccer now. And knowing that I'm reffing college soccer, it was not uncommon for me to go ref a game and after the game, pull into a drive-thru, pick up a cheeseburger and a Coke and some French fries and drive home. But when I became aware of my eating, and I became aware of what my schedule was, and I became aware of the fact that I might be on the road, I started thinking into, what am I going to eat? Do I need to pack something with me? Do I need to plan on going to a grocery store? Do I need to plan on having an alternative meal? And if I'm going to go to fast food, can I pick the right place to eat? See, I became aware of what my circumstances were going to be, and when I became more aware of what my circumstances were going to be, I was able to intentionally focus on the techniques and the tactics needed to be successful in that state I was in. We're getting ready to go into the holiday season. I know Thanksgiving's a ways away, but let's be honest. They're already starting to put Halloween stuff out. And after Halloween comes Thanksgiving. And after that comes Christmas. Are you going to be aware of those time periods and how they affect you? And if you're aware of them, can you intentionally plan for them? Pillar number 4 is the psychological pillar. You know, in sports psychology, this is where we house confidence. This is where we house goal setting. This is where we house culture. You know, you're making this change in your life. Are you creating a culture for this change to be successful? I wrote in my journal the other day that I don't like the word diet. Diet to me has a negative connotation. I think that's why I've never really gone on a diet, because it has this connotation I don't like. My young son the other day, I heard him say something and it just struck a chord with me. He says, Dad's on a modification plan. He's modifying how he eats. I like that. I'm modifying what I'm doing. See, my son helped change the culture. Because I sat there and was talking about what I was doing. I was talking about what I was doing. I was talking about why I was doing it. I was talking about the benefits I had out of it. The culture started to change around the people around me. And my son and my daughter started even using a language that kept me energized. That's part of the psychological makeup. But there also comes goals. What are your goals? Are you making SMART goals? I can do a whole lesson just on goal setting. And I might do a video for you just on goal setting. Your confidence. This is what we go back to the 6-word sentence that I wrote. When you're consistent, your results compound. When you're consistent, your confidence goes up. That's our psychological peer. Number 5 is the academic. Academic is how we learn. How do you learn information? How are you absorbing information? Are you looking at opportunities? What are the opportunities you're looking at? How are you taking that in? Are you a visual learner? Are you a kinesthetic learner? Are you an auditory learner? Do you even know what type of learner you are? If you're not sure what type of even learner you really are, I can give you some exercises that can help you with that. But here's the deal. When you know the way that you learn, you can be more intentional in getting that information and learning that way. I'm an auditory learner, primary. So I like to listen. So auditory books where I can listen and process as I'm listening are very good for me. And then I might go secondary to visual. But I like to hear it first. So then when I'm looking at it, I can process it. What type of learner are you? Maybe if you're kinesthetic, it's a matter of being part and feeling the process. You have to be part of the process. The next pillar is what we call the social pillar. Our social interaction. You know, I applaud James because James has given us a great tool that we are allowing to have this social interaction happening. We cannot be successful. We are social beings. We can't have any success without being social with each other. Embrace that. Don't run away from it. Embrace it, hold on to it, take it with you, and take it to the other people you're involved with. Be willing to share. You know, I think everybody knew James at one point was a network guy and a software guy and a programming guy. But if you start to look what he's putting on social media, he looks like a food junkie now. He became social. And that social change, that being social and connecting with other people, changed the culture. And I think has led to some of his success. So don't be afraid of this. And what James has presented to us is new. It's different. It's not something we're used to. But it is so important to our success. Because God created us as social beings. When I talk about God, the next level is the spiritual prong. For me, what the spiritual prong is, what is your moral compass? Each of us has a moral compass. I'm not here to judge what your moral compass is. I will share what my moral compass is. And it was only when I became clear in what my moral compass was, and I started looking into the places that God was opening doors for me in my life that I was not aware of. I was mad because why'd this happen to me? And it was only when I stepped back and said, God, show me what you want in my life, that I started to see change. See, God is my moral compass. So now I'm looking to Him. I ask Him for the questions. I ask Him. And you know, He gives you the answers in different ways. I call them God winks for me. And I've seen multiple God winks in my life. I've seen multiple, I see them almost every day now. But the changes and the opportunities that have come my way within the last 2 to 3 months, when I redefined what my moral compass is, when I went back to what my moral compass was, I started to really see the light. It doesn't matter what your moral compass is, but listen to it. And finally is the physical prong. The physical prong is why we're here to begin with. It actually circles back to everything. We must be of sound mind and body. And when we have a healthy body, we can achieve more than we ever imagined. So my challenge for you today is to go back and write these 8 words down. Technical, tactical, awareness, psychological, academic, social, spiritual, and physical. And ask yourself, Where am I meeting the mark in these areas? Where can I do better in these areas? Where can I improve? Where do I need help? Do you need help in one of them? Because if you have the social prong, you have the help. Just ask out and reach for it. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. I really have no idea how long it's going to be until I cut it. But I thank you for the time, because I really believe that if you can look at your life through these 8 different prongs and make a change in them, you're going to see a better life for yourself. I know I have. Thanks. This is Coach Christian DeVries. Have a great day.